are the only ones who can determine what the basis of their discussions are. And that is the case.
Thank you. Senator, so many Palestinians, as you know, and Arabs believe peace with the actual Israeli government is practically impossible because of its nature, past statement regarding refugees, Jerusalem, etc. Aren't you concerned that by setting this one-year deadline, you'll probably be raising expectations, just like Camp David and all what happened after that?
Yeah. The reality is, of course, that there are some in both societies who do not believe that the other side is serious, who do not trust the other side, who do not wish to proceed with the other side. And if we accept the premise that because some in one or both societies hold these views, that we cannot proceed, then of course what we are doing is consigning all of those people to never-ending conflict, never-ending difficulties. We simply don't believe that's a proper basis for any country, and certainly not ours, the United States, on which to base its policy. We believe that the best course of action is for direct negotiations that result in a peace agreement, ending this conflict and resulting in two states living side by side in peace and security. We believe the only way to achieve that is through direct negotiations. We believe that if those negotiations are conducted seriously and in good faith, they can produce such an agreement within 12 months. And that is our objective. We acknowledge, we recognize, as you just stated, that there are many who don't believe that, many who don't want that, many who will act to prevent that. But their lack of belief, their contrary views, their contrary actions cannot serve to prevent us from trying to deal with this conflict, nor can it prevent the leaders of those countries who both recognize that the interests of their people, the future of their societies, rests upon resolving this conflict and achieving the kind of peace and stability and security from which they will all benefit.
Last question, Mark.
Senator, this administration believed from the early days that its Middle East strategy and its Iran strategy were linked, in the sense that if you could make progress in one, you might help make progress in another, and vice versa. You now are moving into a period of less engagement and more confrontation with Iran. I'm wondering whether you think that is an added hurdle to a peace agreement, or is it something that could actually help, in the sense that the Israelis may feel that the U.S. is going to be tough on Iran, and it allays their fears somewhat in that regard?
That extends somewhat beyond the area of my involvement in this process, and so I would defer for a more full and thoughtful answer to those who are directly engaged on the broader issues. I will simply say that if you look at the Middle East and review its history over just the past half century, never mind several millennia, you will conclude that there is no really, quote, right time to do this. That there always have been and always will be issues external to the immediate parties that have an effect upon what is occurring. And in my judgment, what is occurring throughout the region, not just in Iran but in other areas, all add compelling cumulative evidence to the need to act with respect to this conflict. That is to say, whether or not the circumstance you describe produces the result you describe, it still remains a compelling argument that it is very much in the national security interest of the United States in terms of dealing with other conflicts to assist, to do all we can with the help and support of our allies to bring about a resolution of this conflict. It helps in so many ways, and most importantly, it's the best thing for the Palestinian people and for the people of Israel. And it is in our national security interest and in that of others. Thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure to be with you.